Hi there, guys. Um, Wanted to come make this really quick video this morning. I hope it'll be quick. I'm planning on it being quick. First thing I want to do, there was some discrepancies, of course, in the media and everything about the Shanquella Robinson case and things that were going on that I want to clarify because that's where I got my information from was from news sources. But today, we were in a society where honestly news does not have to really be verified all the time, and it can be reported even through news outlets and so forth. So I want to clarify that as of I haven't heard anything today. I've been trying to really keep up with this Shanquella Robinson case only because y'all know usually those who watch my channel, I don't usually do like news stories and hot topics and things like that. Sometimes I'll give my opinion kind of after it's out and so forth like that. But to try to do an ongoing information about an active story, I don't usually do because I do know that that's an issue in the media. You have, especially when it's hot, you have everybody giving opinions. They don't be verified. A lot of it is alleged. Most of it is alleged. A lot of it is just people just saying stuff, just throwing stuff out there. And so I don't like to do that. I'm not like a reporter or anything like that. So I don't like to do that because you run into situations like this. But I do want to, I did say the other day about the arrest of Dejanay Roberts. And so I want to take that back. Far as I know, as of today, she has not been arrested. An arrest warrant has been issued for her. That's that on that. There was something else about her case, the transgender thing with Dejanay Roberts. That also was alleged, looking like it's not the case. I would hope, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I hope that I did say that that was alleged because there's really no proof of that has come out. I believe I said though, if she was a transgender, I do understand why Shanquella didn't fight back, you know, and I will stick by that. But any proof or whatever of her actually being transgender or whatever, which is neither here nor there for me. Um, but I do think if it is true or whatever, I don't think a transgender, like I said before, with man strength should be fighting on a woman. But um, it has not been proven, and so I do want to throw that out there. Now, uh, I'll continue to update as I have it, and I'm only doing this because I got a daughter, you know what I'm saying? And, what happened to Shanquella was completely unjust in every way. And so, I'm on it like other people are on it. But I do want to clarify things that weren't true that, was being put out there at the time. And I'm not the only one that, probably is going to have to renege what they said. Um, or at least I hope people would. I am for my channel and for my viewers. But um, you guys, I want to skip around and I want to go to just really really quick. I want to talk about three things that I've noticed for a while. Um, that I don't know if a lot of people really notice it or whatever. But I've noticed it and it kind of bothers me. And maybe as I talk about these three things, there's more, but I just want to hit on these three and would like to know if, this is something that maybe you've noticed and that, what do you think about it? So, and these have nothing to do with like Shanquella Robinson or whatever. This is, and I'm sorry, Dejanay Jackson. I apologize. I think her name is Dejanay Jackson. Um, so forgive me. It's Shanquella Robinson and then Dejanay Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. Forgive me for that. So I'm watching this movie right now. Just finished this movie on Netflix. I'm not, you know, telling people to watch it or anything. I'm just saying that I watched it. Uh Whether or not it was a good movie, you know. But I noticed it's called Troll, if that's okay. I hope I can say that. But the movie basically is about this big like fake troll monster thing that lives in the mountains of Norway. Disclaimer, I'm telling about the movie Troll. If you want to cut off right now, cut off. um and I'm not going to really tell too much. But anyway, at the end of the day, these people, like we see in a lot of movies, where there's a monster or where there's even like, what do you call it? Even like, forgive me, even like, King Kong, um, some movies like Godzilla, things like that, where there's a big imminent threat that could hurt, harm, kill humanity, and things like that. Somewhere, usually in the movie, there's people who are soft toward them. There's people who are understanding toward them. Mm. And so I noticed that, and I noticed a little bit in this movie as well. Like, not to tell the movie, but this thing, just in all honesty, could really destroy, the surroundings and people and all these kinds of things. And so, and it was another movie that I was watching a long time ago when I first started thinking about this, and I can't even think of what that movie was called or anything like that, but I just wondered just how my mind works. I look at that and then I look at like a lot of the slave movies, a lot of the movies where black people, and I don't watch those things anymore, but we know the movies where they'll show the beatings, they'll show the whippings, they'll show the hurt, they'll show the misjustice, injustice, and all of this of slaves and black people, like back in the day or whatever. But I never, I'm not saying that it has never happened. Not saying that it don't happen. But I don't see a lot of sympathy, like remorse. I don't see a lot of um them like feeling sorry and really trying to like come to the aid, of those being done wrong, historically wrong, our people. And so I wondered about that. It in a lot of ways, it really shows a lot of truth of reality. A lot of times, not only animals, especially animals, and I'm not condoning any hurt for any animal at all. I love animals. I love nature. I love trees. I mean, but you don't see a lot of pity going toward those type of injustice type situations. Usually, maybe in the end they may get some justice or something may turn out to their favor, but as far as the sympathy and help and really actually trying to change things, You don't see a lot of that in those movies, but you see it toward like animals, in movies, even like crazy monsters and stuff in movies that could hurt and kill and do people harm, and even like horror movies, where there's something that can hurt and kill something, kill people and whatever. You see a character, or just instances where there's pity for it, you know but like I say, that's some I don't see that in a lot of like slave or apartheid or injustice movies, and just like historical black movies. I don't see the pity and the sympathy and whatever that other creatures, beings, whatever get. Just something I've noticed. Y'all let me know. The other thing, and none of these are like related at all, period. The other thing that I noticed is that you don't see along social media, and just like just as you read the stories and just as things come up. And if we're honest, we don't really see just black men as a whole getting uh like really being blamed or what have you for single motherhood. Like, you don't ever really just hear a lot of stuff talking about the fathers, and I'm not even talking about now, because I know things are kind of changing, but I'm talking about even like some few years ago. um you don't really see that accountability. You don't see, like, say for instance, something some man, woman, whatever, goes and commits a horrible crime, black people. Usually what you will see is them somewhere down the line blaming the black mother. You rarely hear anything about, well, where was the father? Where was their father in their life? Um, that's just something I've noticed. Even, you know, black men themselves will usually blame single motherhood. You rarely do you hear them asking for the father, or where's the father, or how the father raised the child, or how, what the father contributed to the child's upbringing. You hear, oh, single mother home, or oh, black woman raised them, or that's a product of single motherhood, and so that's what you hear. It's becoming and I don't even really see it a lot. I know I call it out all the time, but usually you don't really see them blaming the fathers, or whatever, whether it's the dad or whatever. Except, and yeah, please, y'all, I wish you all would comment more. Let me know, because here's what I've seen. In the case of Bishop T.D. Jakes, that's the only man really in America, black man, that we see who they actually and absolutely blame him for what happens with his children. And I'm not even picking a side. I'm not saying nothing about what his children has done, throughout time and all this kind of stuff, their scandals or whatever. I'm just saying that's the only case that I really see all the time, that anything that happens with him or his children, really, that they actually blame a black father, is in the case of Bishop T.D. Jakes. And like I say, I'm not even trying to defend the man at all, but I notice it. Sarita Jakes, I've never seen them call Sarita Jakes on anything her children really does, like they normally do other black women. And I'm not saying that they should or anything. I'm just asking, have you all ever noticed that? When something happened with Bishop T.D. Jakes' children, they get him. And I'm not even saying why. I understand he's a big mega pastor. I know a lot of people don't agree with him. I know a lot of people not. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just asking, have you noticed it? Third thing, I have noticed We all know black women get accused every day of being masculine. Makeup, no makeup, weave, no weave, body structure, appearance, behavior. Black women get called masculine all the time. Don't matter, just masculine. Um, and here's what's funny about that. There is a there is a an actual law, and I want to pull that law up because it's a very relevant it's a very um relevant law that is actually on the books, and people can use that law in many cases. But as I'm looking for that, as I'm looking for that, I'm just gonna continue on. Um, hold on one second. uh, just one second, y'all. Because actually I had pulled it up on like my screen, but uh I hope this is it, but I can't really like do a double screen and show exactly what I'm talking about. But it was actually the exactly what I was looking for. Um so um I'm gonna see if I how I can find that, because I want to read it exactly the way that it is. But here's the point that I'm making with saying that. Have you guys noticed that black women are, like I say, the ones who are just normally in that, like no one has a problem with calling black women masculine, except there's even this white guy on TikTok now who is, that's what he's doing. He is, oh well, the black women I've met have always been, real masculine, and I think first of all it's BS. I think he's looking for clout, and I really don't think he has met that many black women. I think he's probably been rejected by black women, but I really think that dude is just kind of jumping or trying to jump on the on the bandwagon of using a black women and just black women in general for anything, because people know that's how you can come up. That's how you can come up. So y'all just bear with me and let me try to type this in correctly so that I can pull up what I already pulled up. But I did it on my computer, and now I'm using my phone. So just bear with me a second. This is my last point. Um, uh, all right. So let me um so what I typed in was I was trying to type in, there was a thing that I saw on TikTok, and this is just an example. There was a thing that I saw where this they were talking about black women being masculine, and there was a few black women making comments saying that on their job and so forth, they get called masculine. Some of them have physical jobs, and and some of them are in jobs where, just because they're black women and it may be a physical job, people expect them to pick up all this big heavy stuff, or, do what men do. And actually, like, downing them for not doing it or not being able to do it or whatever, based on this whole black woman masculinity thing. And first of all, I think it's crazy. Um, so this is actually about trans people. What I picked, what I pulled up, because I think that is where the law actually is. It's more of a trans thing than gay thing. But what I pulled up was there's a law that I know of. I heard it, and I actually did pull it up on here earlier. I'm not sure if this is the same one though, but I'm gonna read it anyway. But what it basically states is that if there is a trans person and you do not identify them in the way that they are wanting to be identified, you can get in trouble at work, or you can get, I've heard some instances you can get fired for like not identifying them as how they want. Matter of fact, I just thought about this. There was something at a school. I think a teacher like got in trouble for not identifying I think it was a little trans boy who was, like going to be a girl or wanting to be identified as a girl. And the teacher got in trouble because she kept calling him a little boy or calling him by his boy name or whatever. And I don't remember what happened to her, so I'm not going to try to speculate, but there was a thing about it, and it was a few years ago. And so my point for bringing this up is I just want you all to see and tell me if you have ever noticed how it is, or why it is okay to call out black women as being masculine or manly, or you know there's even a black woman on TikTok who has been complaining that some guys took her picture, made her picture look like her face look real manly, like they what do you call it, they photoshopped it and did that to her face. But um and are talking, comparing her to like white women, or this photoshopped image of this white woman, or some white woman that maybe had a bunch of surgery or whatever, um and put it basically side by side, and comparing, calling him masculine, and it's crazy. But that stuff is normalized, like you everywhere, so many places along social media you can hear about black women, masculine black women, and there's never any like punishment. There's never any, nobody ever gets in trouble. It's really like it's okay. And I personally feel that it's just a campaign. Like it's just something that is okay by media. I think that it's pushed. I think it's an agenda. And yeah, and I think black women are okay to be picked on. I really do, in social media. Because when you have laws like this on the books, that you can get in trouble for a trans person, an actual trans person who was born one way and saying that they want to become the other way. And I'm not saying anything about that. That's a person's choice. They have their right. I'm not saying anything about that. What I'm comparing it to is the fact of natural born, real, true women that are being called men, or masculine, or whatever. Nobody ever gets in trouble for that. But I want to see if I can find, it wasn't a real big thing, but I want to read this right here, just kind of, So it says, to, you have a right not to be fired or refuse a job or promotion because you are transgender. That's not really what I was looking for. You have a right to be treated with respect and not be harassed. So, sex based harassment is unlawful when it is severe or widespread, like the internet, um, and an employer does not take steps to stop it. Sex based harassment can include jokes or derogatory comments about transgender people, repeated and intentional use of the wrong name or pronouns. That's what I'm talking about right there. Invasive, disrespectful personal questions may constitute harassment. Um, according, let me see. But this is employment. This is employment. But at the end of the day, it's widespread, and there are protections for trans people and so forth to identify the way they want to identify. And if someone doesn't do that, they can actually get in trouble. So my point is, why can't that be used for Black women? Black women who are absolutely full-blown women, not trans, not trying to be anything but a woman. Why is it okay that the internet and everything and anybody can downgrade and call a Black woman a man and there be no repercussions behind it? Is it because Black women aren't saying anything, or they're not exercising the right, this same right? Because I know if this is on the books for trans people, it has to be the same thing. As I actually, like I said, I had actually found that, and I wish that I could actually pull up exactly you know what I had found. But either way, it still can uh it can still be used. Um, but you never hear, this is my last point. You never hear, oof, I went way past what I thought I was going to be on here. You never hear people saying that gay men, like really gay men who are like really flamboyantly, very, very feminine gay men. You don't ever hear nobody ever saying like anything about them being masculine. Even if and I understand that they're men, but I'm just saying you never hear that in any kind of way. You never hear the derogatory even about trans people, like a trans man, like it's a man, like just in a dress or whatever, and especially ones who are like pre-op and stuff like that. But you never hear anybody talking about them or saying anything about their masculinity when they are actually men, if you understand what I'm saying. And once again, this is not, I'm not picking no shots, taking no shots at those groups at all. Um, and it just, it always baffles me that you don't ever hear any of that toward those people, but it's okay for everybody to come out and attack a real, actual, natural born Black female woman, and there's never any retribution. And I understand why they don't attack trans people or gay men or whatever, is because those communities are completely protected. Like, you mess with them, that's like messing with the other people that you can't touch. And I hope you all understand who I'm talking about. You can't touch them at all. Like, you can't say nothing about them or you're done. Like, done. Y'all know, y'all get it. But it's like that with trans people or gay people, gay men or whatever. Like, you don't hear anybody attacking them. And I just wonder, why is it okay to do that to Black women, you know? Uh, with no repercussions at all. Like, it's just cool, it's fun, it's jokey, you know. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna cut the video off. I went longer than I was going to, but I was trying to explain my points. Um, I wish you'd get in the comments and let me know. Do you all notice those things? That I know they're all completely different topics, but they give a little flavor to the video, you know. But you guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button, please. Hit the subscribe button and uh, subscribe, please. And thank you so much. You guys, until the next video, we'll see you next time.